what is the most money you would spend on a home?
That would depend on a lot of factors, and that I think goes with a lot of people. A lot of people would say this.
So when I say that, how much would you spend on basically renovations to protect your home?
Oh, to protect my home? Oh, yeah, no. If there's gonna be disaster, yeah, I would spend a good amount of money.
Okay. Would you chip in if your neighbors said, like, hey, let's chip in for some sand? What would you say?
I'd be like, okay, yeah, some sand, it protects from the water.
Okay.
Good. People get sandbags out when it rains.
Well, these people that lived on a beach effectively spent $600,000
That's too much money. That's eye-popping amounts of money.
for sand. And they went and spent that amount of money for 15,000 tons of sand.
Why do you need that much sand? Why do you need $600,000 worth of sand?
Well, I mean, effectively to protect your home, because their homes, as you can see in this picture, they are right next to the water.
Oh my God.
It is their house, a sand dune that they built. So this 15,000 tons was for a sand dune. And they built the sand dune, and, it was so supposed to protect their place, which it did for all intents and purposes. It did protect their house.
Mm-hmm.
But as we found out, after 3 days after this whole thing was completed, it was washed away.
Oh my God.
Washed away.
That is crazy. That's so much money. That's like literally eye-popping amounts of money to spend on something like this.
Yeah, especially how long they took to build it. But we have additional information to talk about in terms of this topic. But we'll start talking about that after you consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. We come out with interesting topics like this one daily. So if you want to follow interesting topics like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So this was because the homes in this area, right next to the water, were running into flooding.
That makes sense because it's right next to the water.
Right next to the water. And because of rising tides and other things, they were having more fears of having their homes flooded or damaged by the water. I mean, for all intents and purposes, their homes are really nice. They look really, really pretty sweet.
The homes look really nice. And you do pay for that beachfront property. But I did hear before that people who live by the beach and by these homes usually get like some type of mold because of the moisture that's in the air. Yeah.
It's a higher water content. But the crazy thing is that they estimate that they put this up, and because of a 13.5-foot king tide, as they put it, that rolled in, they lost approximately $300,000 worth of sand.
That's a lot.
So about half the sand was eroded away. And now the crazy thing is that, like, if you look at this picture right here, effectively what they did was they put in more sand, but because of the waves, this kind of like
level taking it underwater.
Yeah, it kind of leveled it out. So leveled out the sand, and I mean, it's the sand that they put there is still there, but it just kind of flattened it out. And I don't know if this is a very sustainable thing, and they also think so too, because they're at first, I mean, this was like, oh, we need to save this, but like at some point, is this too much money?
That is way too much money, especially, I mean, it depends on how much the home value is.
I mean, it's beachfront.
The beachfront property is a lot. A lot of people like beachfront property. But the thing is, people are not willing to buy a home that's going to, first off, be costing them like additional money to upkeep. And if it's in danger of being washed away.
Yeah, especially because they are not allowed to dredge out, so like dig up more sand and put it back.
Yeah,
they have to truck in new sand.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that obviously costs money because like the trucks have to come in and they have the excavators to put it in, and it took a bunch of time to have them build this dune, only for it to be basically destroyed after it was complete. And
yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting. Like, I wonder, like, who organized this. I mean, obviously it's the homeowners, but there was probably a lot of planning that went into place.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you just don't call someone up and be like, hey, I need...
Hey, you got a lot of sand. You have 15,000 tons of sand.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, who are you going to call? Someone had to organize this, which is crazy just to even think about.
It's like, who has a 15,000 tons of sand just laying around? But I do wonder. But the thing is that now the residents are trying another thing, but not everybody's on board. And I agree with the other residents where I feel like they already put a lot of money into this whole thing. And it's like, oh, it
didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out. But I mean, how much more money can they put in? Like,
no, I don't think they could probably put in like more, but it's not gonna, like, it's gonna be washed away.
Yeah,
it's not sustainable.
Maybe they could just put their houses on stilts. Have you seen those stilt houses?
Oh yeah, I have actually.
Where they just lift up their whole entire house on stilts.
It will essentially just be like a pier at that point.
Yeah,
it will be a pier.
That's what we want.
But it reminds me of the house that's like on the cliff, and it's like,
oh yeah,
that's in danger of falling down. I was like, if you think about it, like, a rational person would not buy that house because it's like literally.
It could be a good deal though.
It could be a good deal, but you don't know if you're going to fall off the side of a cliff, or you don't know if your house is going to be washed away. So all your money
losing.
In there.
You're losing property, literally.
Yeah, that's true. Eventually, they're probably going to have to sell at a steep loss. Is what I'm imagining.
I mean, otherwise it goes into the ocean.
Otherwise, it goes into the ocean, and you pass the buck to a bigger fool.
The thing is that because then you'd be ruining the beachfront aspect, but you'd put up like retaining walls, so like concrete barriers.
Oh, like a seawall.
Yeah, seawall to block it. But I mean, at that point, it wouldn't be a beachfront. At that point,
no,
you'd have to like basically put up like a dam, and then only let in a certain amount of water at a time, and then. I think it'd be a whole different thing, and I mean, that probably would cost way more than.
But you think about it, is if they do that, if their homes are safe, I think that's probably more important because they could literally just walk to another side of the beach.
That's true. So you would think like, okay, like, well, they could build a retaining wall, etc., but that costs way more money. But now they're trying to put in these. Dune grass. So like effectively, like if you've seen like dunes, they have like these like reeds. They're like really tall grass effectively, and they grow in the dunes, and those like trees helps with erosion.
Oh, okay.
So like their thought is now like they're going through like every single scenario. Like, I mean, they're trying to protect their house, like they're where they live, and. They're going to this point where now they're trying to buy these bundles of dune grass to save the remaining amount of sand they have left. But now it's kind of like tough to convince the rest of the homeowners to like buy into it because it's like, well, we already spent all this money. Like I don't know if I can just keep putting money into this forever.
That's a lot of money too. It's a lot of money to put in for a project like this.
Yeah, especially because, like, they're already probably dealing with other things in terms of, like, having probably higher homeowners insurance, if you think about it, because, like, they probably can't get flood insurance because...
It's literally right next to the water. Yeah, and something like this, they're if they find out, it's like, hey, your home is... at risk of falling
off a cliff
or going into the ocean, it's like we're probably not. It's going to be hard to find insurance.
Yeah,
so you're probably going to pay a huge premium on all of that,
or it'd have to come out of pocket in terms of like the fixes or renovations to your specific property.
Yeah.
So it is a very interesting case because like, on one hand you want to maintain the property value, but then again, like you might be fighting a losing fight because at this point, like you'd have to figure out a more sustainable solution.
Fighting Mother Nature.
Palm trees. Put giant palm trees, and then they'll save the dunes.
Just put it on stilts. I agree with you
stilts,
on this.
Giant stilts. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that these homeowners should continue to put money into sand to fix the sand dunes, or do you think that they're are other options for them to maybe like raise their houses or other things. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.